Ranger Heidi, welcoming you to episode 2 of our Nature Story and Craft with a Ranger series. And today we're going to be, like before, reading a story and then learning a little bit more about the characters in that story, followed by a fun arts and craft project. So our story today is called Fang and Stinger, an arachnid story, written by Conrad J. Sorad and illustrated by Nathaniel P. Jensen. Hi kids, my name's Eddie. Come closer so you can hear. My story is about two arachnid friends and how they face their fear. I'm a Sonoran desert elf owl. High in a big saguaro is my nest. The cactus grows near Dairy King. Come closer, hear the rest. This tale is about two great pals. Both are different, you might say. They once got teased and taunted. They got bullied every day. It's not easy being different. Some days you feel just like a fool. I say think unique instead. Being different can be cool. Harriet is the desert scorpion. She's as skinny as a rail. The girl has two big strong pinchers, but she was afraid of her own tail. Some critters like to tease her. Their words hurt her feelings bad. Hey Stinger, watch your tail, they'd yell. Down drooped her tail, so sad. Tootie's a red-knee tarantula. She's Harriet's best friend. Little Tootie only had one fang. Would the taunting never end? Peppy T. Hawk is a big old wasp. There's not a mean thing she won't do. Peppy's the worst bully of them all. She's nasty through and through. Old Peppy has bright orange wings, a shiny body that's blue-black. She taunts young spiders with her stinger, says, someday you'll be my snack. Tootie lives in a burrow beneath the rocks. That's what most tarantulas do. Harriet lives under a pile of wood. I swear all this is true. Both the friends are super shy, as bug hunters not the best. Now listen up, don't miss this, you won't believe the rest. Most spiders like the taste of flies. Scorpions find worms a tasty treat, but not these two arachnid pals. They liked ice cream best to eat. They slurped melted chocolate and vanilla, ate strawberry, peach, banana too. They sipped from leaky cartons behind the store. Yum, so much better than bug stew. Now time goes by and creatures change. Little spiders grow up as well. Tootie's red knees just got brighter. My gosh, she sure looks swell. Now Harriet just got smarter. She'd often pause to think, my sharp stinger isn't all that bad. Her tail fear seemed to shrink. Then the confrontation finally happened. The day of reckoning had arrived. Peppy caught them both out in the open. Would both friends stay alive? Cruel Peppy sneered a twisted smile as she crouched there on the ground. Her bright orange wings were buzzing. They made an evil sound. I couldn't take much more of this. I almost swooped down from on top, but I watched as little Tootie moved and something made me stop. Tootie winked at Harriet. Her good friend winked right back. The moment of truth was finally here. The big wasp might attack. It's best not to run, said Tootie. No, never run away. Running only does one thing. Running makes you prey. Tootie reared back to bare her fang. Not much else that she could do. But her one sharp fang was not alone. Surprise! Now there were two. Harriet arched her long curved tail. Her stinger gleamed brightly in the sun. Peppy's orange wings stopped their buzzing. It was the T-Hawk's turn to run. The friends stood close together, faced mean Peppy eye to eye. The old bully's sneer wilted fast. She looked like she might cry. The big wasp flew off quickly, buzzed high up into the sky, and she never bothered the friends again, not once, and that's no lie. Are there lessons in my story? Yes, I think one or two. Remember, courage comes from within, and to your friends be true. Being different is not a bad thing. The friends now know that it's okay. Heck, they live behind the Dairy King, where they eat ice cream every day. And we know that that definitely would be different for a scorpion and a tarantula to eat ice cream. And we're going to learn more about them right now. So come on over. All right. So in our story, we know that Tootie the tarantula and her friend Harriet the scorpion are both arachnids. But what is an arachnid? It might be easier to first say what is not an arachnid, because a lot of people might assume that spiders and scorpions are just another type of insect, but they're actually their own group, arachnids. So what's the difference between an arachnid and an insect? Let's find out. I have a model here of just a common insect. This is, I guess, supposed to be a little grasshopper, it looks like. This is just to show you some of the differences. So insects, all insects, have three main body parts. They have a head, and then they have a thorax, which is the center chest part of the body, from which their 6 legs are attached. They have 3 on each side. And then the thorax is the second part, as I mentioned, and then the third part is the abdomen. So that's the biggest part on this particular insect model here. So in addition to 1, 2, 3 body parts and 6 legs, insects have 2 antennae on top of their heads, and different insects have different size and shaped antennae that they use for communicating. Insects also have wings at some point in their life and can fly. And our grasshopper's wings are folded close here, as you can see. So those are the main body parts of an insect. Then again, they have 3 body parts: head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs, antennae, and wings. Insects all have also compound eyes, which are able to see in multiple directions at once. So an arachnid, on the other hand, I actually have a friend here named Dulce that I brought to share with you today, all the way from Tecolote Nature Center. And we'll use her, the real deal, instead of a model. Okay, alrighty. So here I have Miss Dulce, a Chilean rose hair tarantula found in Chile, South America. So she looks similar to our local common native tarantulas here at Mission Trails, except she has this pretty light rose-colored fur up on her, what we call a cephalothorax, which is actually 2 body parts combined, her head and her chest, or thorax. So she has, instead of 3 body parts like the insect, only 2 main body parts, the cephalothorax, and then of course the abdomen. I know she's a she and not a he because she has a large abdomen, as the females do have much larger than the males, kind of like us humans. And she does not have any wings like an insect does, nor does she have antennae. So how many legs does she have? Let's see if she'll stop walking so that we can count them. Here, I'm gonna put her on my leg. There you go, girl. Okay, so it looks like she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? 10 legs? I was told that spiders and arachnids have only 8 legs. And I'm being sneaky here. She actually does only have 8 legs. If you notice, these 2 shorter looking legs in the front are actually, come here baby, let's show them. Those are her pedipalps. There you go. See those 2 shorter ones in the front there? Pedipalps are like her little grabbers that she uses to grab her prey and pull them in, where she can then bite them with her sharp, curved fangs. Just like a rattlesnake, she can inject venom from her fangs. And like with all spiders, then that venom will help digest or dissolve the inside of their prey, so they can then slurp it out. Slurp the bug parts out like a straw through their fangs. Tarantulas, though, because they are so large and have powerful jaws, they actually will tear apart and eat the entire insect. or whatever it is they may have caught. It could be a lizard, a baby lizard, or a baby mouse as well. So they can eat much bigger things than the smaller spiders. Like other spiders, they do spin webs, but not that they hang out in to catch food. They use on the back of their abdomen here these two spinnerets. Well, you can kind of see the little dark things there. Maybe she'll move them around on her own in a bit here for you to get a better look. But the spinnerets will spin a silk fiber, and she actually will make a web just at the entrance of her burrow. So they do live in a burrow in the ground, just like in our story, and they'll spin the web at that entrance so that if a critter passing by should trigger it and make it vibrate, she'll notice from the inside that, uh-oh, dinner's out front at the door, and then she can go and snatch it up. Okay, so we can see that the difference between insects and arachnids then, the arachnids have 8 legs instead of 6, and only 2 body parts instead of 3, but arachnids also have spinnerets and fangs, or at least the spiders do. Let's look at, here, I'm gonna let her just hang out here so I can show you. There you go, Dulce. A scorpion that's no longer alive. This is one of the common local scorpions found here at Mission Trails. And look, you can see they're very tiny. The largest scorpion in San Diego County is actually the desert hairy scorpion found out at the desert. But we have these little dudes here, and similar to pedipalps like Tootie, or actually Dulce here has, the scorpion has pinchers, like lobster claws up in front that it uses to grab its prey. So instead of pedipalps like the tarantula has, the scorpion has pinchers up front, these 2 pinchers, in addition to its 8 legs that you can see there. And it uses its pinchers to grab its prey. And now, instead of using fangs to inject venom, it has a cool stinger at the end of its tail that it will use to inject venom into its prey. At night, if you have a UV flashlight and shine it upon them, they will actually glow in the dark. They fluoresce under the UV light, which is super cool. I have another dead scorpion here that I found on site, and I think you might be able to get to see, there we go, you probably get to see its stinger a little better than the one behind the glass I have there. This one is missing a head, the headless scorpion. But one cool thing about the arachnids, scorpions and spiders, mites and ticks are also arachnids. As they grow, they will actually molt their entire exoskeleton, or the outside of their body. And I have an example, here, of a recent molt from Miss Dulce herself here. So she's got her fresh, pretty new hairs going on right now that she's styling. And thanks to recently having molted her old fur, and you can see here it's very light, it's hollow. This was the top of her cephalothorax right here that you can see that popped off, and then the entire outer covering her body, all 8 legs, the pedipalps, and even the fangs. Look at that. You can see those sharp, curled fangs in there. Isn't that cool? Looks like another spider, just like a dead spider, but it's just a hollow shell from Miss Dulce. Pretty cool, huh? As you can see, she's Dulce and tarantulas in general are very mellow, very docile and calm, not aggressive like people might think. A lot of people have fear of spiders. They call it arachnophobia. But really, a bite of a tarantula, though it would hurt, wouldn't really harm you. It'd be like getting stung by a bee, but they don't have a very dangerous venom like some other species down in the tropics. And as you can see, she has no reason to bite me because I'm too big for her to eat, and I'm not scaring her, giving her a reason to feel like she needs to vent herself. And so they actually make cool pets, really low maintenance pets, because they don't have to eat very often, you know, maybe like once a week. She just recently ate a big, fat, juicy cockroach. Yum, right? She definitely isn't going to be interested in any melted Dairy King like Tootie in the story, right? That was just to be fun and silly. But she, as I mentioned, will eat other insects or small critters that she can catch, like mice and lizards, or maybe even a baby bird from a nest would be a yummy treat. And She has 8 eyes, just like her legs, all clustered together right on the top of her cephalothorax. And you can see it right there. That's her. I'm not going to poke her in the eye. Plural, right? Eyes. But just like insects that have compound eyes, it enables her to be able to see in all different directions at the same time. So she can see if danger is coming. Let me move over here so she can get on the countertop. There you go, girl. Oh, and at the tip of each of her toes, she has soft little pads that act sort of like suction cups to give her traction, and little hooks as well, so that she's an excellent climber. She can climb right up the side of this glass aquarium even, or a tree branch, or, oh, sorry, sweetie, I don't want you to fall. Don't fall, girl. But yeah, so tarantulas, if you do see one in the wild, this is a good time of year to do so. Being fall, it's their mating season. And right before the sun goes down, the males will come out from their burrows in search of the females. But anyways, as I was saying, if you do see one, it's really exciting. You don't have to be afraid. They're a sign of a healthy ecosystem. When you have them around, it's a good thing. And they are part of the food chain. So just like in our story, her main enemy is a large wasp, and it's called a Pepsis wasp. So that's where they got the name Peppy for short in the story. But the Pepsis wasp does have bright orange wings, just like Peppy did, and a blue-black body. So the female Pepsis wasp actually is out looking for tarantulas, not for herself to eat, but she has an important job in mind for the tarantula. She will sting the tarantula on their abdomen right here, and it will paralyze them, which means it won't kill them, but they won't be able to move, so they will be completely helpless. And then the wasp will drag the tarantula, like in this photo right here that you see. She's dragging the paralyzed tarantula back to her ground burrow, and then she will lay one egg upon the abdomen of that tarantula and then leave. Now, later, when that egg hatches, the baby wasp starts out as a larva, which is like a little caterpillar guy, and it will then have a food supply. And starting with the legs and then the abdomen and finally saving the cephalothorax for last, that way it stays alive as long as possible and nice and fresh. The larva will get all nice and fat and ready to go through its magical metamorphosis to become an adult wasp. So pretty cool, huh? You would never have guessed maybe that an insect would be the main enemy or predator of an arachnid, huh? But it's one of nature's cool relationships that's going on out there. Oh, here I have a better picture of a full Pepsis wasp on top of some buckwheat flowers. And you can see the curled antennae in this Pepsis wasp there. Isn't that cool? And in addition to having sharp fangs that inject venom, another cool weapon of defense that tarantulas have, believe it or not, is these little hairs on their abdomen. When startled, or if they come face to face with a would-be predator, and what she can do then is take her 2 hind legs, these 2 back legs here, and really quickly flick, 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 flick. Oh, here you go, baby. Flick those hairs off into the eyes and nose of that predator, and the hairs are very irritating, and it will give the tarantula time to escape while the predator is dealing with these irritating little hairs in its eyes or its nose. So that's a pretty cool little trick, and sometimes you might even, as a result, see a tarantula in the wild that looks like it has bald patches on its abdomen, and it's not that it's like getting old and bald like us humans do. It's that it just obviously had used its defense mechanism of flicking those hairs and hasn't regrown any yet because it hasn't molted yet, right? So pretty cool tarantulas are, and spiders in general for that matter. And so if you see any in your house, you can be nice, and instead of squishing and killing them, you can gently capture them and release them outside, because they have an important job, you know, in nature. They kind of help keep things in balance. And they're not in your house to attack you or eat you. They just are kind of got in the wrong place by accident. I'm going to put her back in her little house here. There you go, girl. She's like, thank goodness All these humans fondling me. Okay. All right, so let's move over to the table and make some cool crafts now of tarantulas and scorpions. All right, so we're going to make both a scorpion and a tarantula side by side, and we're gonna need pom-poms for their body parts. And we remember they have only the 2 body parts, so we're gonna get big ones for the abdomens of each. There we go. And then let's see, we're gonna need a little bit smaller ones, these look good, for the cephalothorax. So here we go, we'll have these smaller cephalothoraxes here. And we're gonna be using tacky glue today, good old tacky glue. So we're gonna be generous with the glue because it dries clear, so it's okay if it gets a little messy. But anyways, then I'm just gonna attach the cephalothorax to the abdomens. Okay, so there, those are glued already at least, right? Okay, and then googly eyes, and we learned that they actually have 8 eyes, but just for fun, I'm going to only put 2 eyeballs each. And an easy way to do is if you just touch it, the top with your finger, it'll kind of stick if you gently touch it, and then you can just put a little dab of glue. A dab will do. Oh, there we go, I'll do it with both now, like this. Oops. So I'm gonna put the eyes, up there and make it have 2 eyes like as humans. Makes it more cartoonish, right? All right, so we get our eyeballs. And then we need to put the antennae on, right? Ha, psych, just kidding. Remember, they don't have any antennae. But you might recall up front, instead, the tarantula, we'll make this one our tarantula, has pedipalps. So I'm gonna take some pipe cleaner and scissors, and I'm gonna make 2 pedipalps for my tarantula. And then you might recall the scorpion has pinchers. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna fold a pipe cleaner in half. This one had a little bend in it here. So we'll fold this in half, and I'm gonna use half for each of them. More than enough. And I'm gonna fold a half and half again and cut it in half for both of them. And we will, let's see, and then each half now I'm gonna fold them in half yet again. And I'm gonna twist the end together there, and I'm gonna kinda squish it a little bit together like so. And so I'm gonna make my pedipalps, twist it so they don't unravel, and kind of squish it together. And then I'm actually gonna put glue on the bottom part here, like just a big line of it, and then set the tarantula on top of it. This glue does take a while to dry. There we go. Oh, look at that. He's got his pedipalps ready to grab some food. All right, and then we'll do similar for our scorpion, except they're supposed to be pinchers. So let's see. Instead of folding it and twisting it in half, what we'll do is we're gonna fold it in half and then use the open ends. Let's give it a twist on the closed end, and that way then we can spread it out and make like the letter V, and maybe kind of curve them a little bit like a claw. Yeah, there we go. That looks kind of like a pincher, right? So I'm gonna do just one twist down here at the bottom. Okay, and then flare these out, maybe curve them in a little bit like they're trying to, like pinchers, see? Psh, psh, pinchers, if you use your imagination. And we'll put some glue on just like we did for the pedipalps. And stick those, boink, one pincher, kind of off to the side a little bit, like they have them, right? And then the other pincher. All right. Okay, so legs, we know they have 8 legs. So we're gonna get some more pipe cleaners over here. Let's see, maybe I'll do this orange one for our scorpion, sort of match a little bit. And one's gonna be enough for all 8 legs, because then we can fold them in half and then in half, just like we did a minute ago, but we're gonna use the whole thing, the whole pipe cleaner for each one. So for the scorpion, I'm gonna use just the one full pipe cleaner and cut into half and then half again to make 4. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully pick him up, and underneath I'm gonna make a line of glue, like so. See, I made just a big straight line kind of on the abdomen and the cephalothorax. And then I'm going to stick the pipe cleaners across the middle of like a train track kind of, or something here. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then now that makes 4 on each side. Scorpions have short legs, and those look boring just sticking out like that, right? So to make them more realistic, you can bend them, kind of curve them like little claws. There we go. Bend. See how I'm just putting a little gentle bend in there, you guys? Okay, so he's got his 8 legs and his pinchers. And so now what's he missing? The scorpion has that cool long tail with a stinger at the end. So we're gonna take another pipe cleaner. And let's see, we're probably only gonna need a half of pipe cleaner for this. So I'm gonna fold it in half. And then I'm gonna take half and fold it in half. I do that a lot, huh? And I'm gonna hold them nice and close together, and then I'm gonna use some pony beads, these little common plastic colored beads that you could find at any craft section. And I'm gonna put, let's see, maybe I'll use 5. I'm gonna thread some on there. Ooh, look, I'll be all color coordinated and do orange and yellow, since we have the orange and yellow theme going here, kinda, huh? You could do any colors you want though, of course. So let's see. See, I'm threading it over both of those open ends. So you're gonna squeeze them on there. There we go. That's 3. And get another yellow one. Come here, you. And then I'll do one more after this, so a total of 5. And finish it off with an orange. Oh, he's gonna look pretty, huh, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze them up. I'm gonna leave this part at the end here as the stinger. So I'm gonna pinch it really hard together, and I'm gonna kind of curl it a little bit like a real stinger. See how I did that? Remember, he curls his tail and goes sting and stings his food. And then you can, if you want, now twist that open end a little bit. Put some glue on top of that, and whoopsies, and have him sit on it. And you gotta be patient and let him dry before you play with it, for sure. Oh no, look at his tail. There we go. Okay, so we have a scorpion. Yay! And now for our tarantula, we just need to add 8 legs, but we're gonna need 2 pipe cleaners for the tarantula, because he has longer legs than the scorpion. Is that a big one? Oh, I guess it is. So let's take 2 pipe cleaners this time and fold them in half. And there we go. So now I have 4 longer pieces. And similar to how we attach the legs for our scorpion, we're going to do the same for our spider. But you know what? I learned a lesson. This time I'm going to curve my legs first before I glue them on. So like we did with ours, but this is gonna be 2 legs, right guys? 1 on each side. So you can kind of bend it and then maybe bend it. They have jointed legs. They're arthropods, arachnids, which means they have jointed or segmented bodies. So maybe I'll make, this will be where it's glued, and then I'll have those legs come out, kind of like, you know, kind of do it however you, whoopsers. So make it look like legs, right? Kind of down and then up. I'm no Bob Ross. Your parents know who that is. Okay. You can always fix it once it's attached too. In fact, that might be a better way to see how it's gonna look when it's actually on the spider. So I'm gonna grab both again carefully here, and I'm gonna make my big, generous, thick line of glue. Do, 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 do. All right. And I'm gonna stick those legs on. Boink, 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 boink. Here we go. Stay. Aha! Look at our spider. He's like doing this funny dance. But that's okay. Again, like I said, remember when it dries, you can manipulate those legs, which this guy's definitely gonna need his legs manipulated more. See how, make it so they stay out better. Yeah, oh, he's looking cool already, isn't he? Let's see. Ah, there we go. So just kind of play with it, you know. That's the neat thing about pipe cleaners. You can rebend them and reshape them. Right, guys? Okay, so again, feel free, you know, you can manipulate those legs more when it dries. Oh, hey, let's be all anatomically correct and make the last thing that you might remember that the spiders have. Instead of pinchers and a stinger, they have pedipalps and, remember, spinnerets for spinning their webs. So let's see, maybe I'll get white to match his pedipalps just for kicks. And we don't need very big. I think I'll use, yeah, 1/4 of a pipe cleaner to make both of them, because then I'll fold the halves in half again. So there we go, I got 1/4, and then I'm gonna fold each half in half. And actually this time, I think, yeah, this time, let's, we're gonna twist the bottom all up. That's the part we're gonna glue, and then we'll just pinch together the clothes folded in to be like the little spinnerets. There we go, that's what we'll do. So we fold it in half, twist it, twistity twist, squeeze it together, put your glue on each one on the twisted part, and then you want him to come up, straight up against his abdomen like so. Oh, those are big spinnerets. Hold on. Yeah, you don't need the whole length of them, because you might remember from Dulce, her spinnerets are very small, not as big as her pedipalps. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Check that out. So now she's got her little spinnerets on her abdomen there for spinning her webs. Coolness. So we've got a tarantula and a scorpion, arachnids, and they can be best of friends, just like Tootie and Harriet were in the story. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed our story today and learned a little bit more about arachnids like tarantulas and scorpions. And maybe if you're lucky, when you're out hiking someday or late afternoon, preferably towards the evening when they come out, maybe you'll be lucky enough to have a sighting of a real tarantula or scorpion. And we hope you have a happy Halloween.